same topic, 6-8, we are going to continue to divide with decimals. We may have to add zeros, we may not. Okay, let's do the first one together. Well, go ahead and push pause and write all 6 problems down first, and then come back and we'll do the first one. Okay, rule number 1, absolutely no decimal in the divisor. Step 2, if there is, which there is, make it a whole number. Step 3, which you do to the outside, you do to the inside. Bring the decimal up. Can 32 go into 2? Nope. Can 32 go into 20? No. Can 32 go into 208? Yep. How many times can 3 go into 20? That'd be about 6 times. So let's put a 6 there. 6 times 2 is 12. Carry the 1. 6 times 3 is 18. Plus 1 is 19. So now we have to subtract. 8 minus 2 is 6. Can't take 9 from 0, so we got to take one set there. That makes that a 10. 10 minus 9 is 1. All right, so the decimal's there, so let's add 3 zeros. Extend our divisor bar. Bring down the first 0. Now we ask ourselves, how many times can 3 go into 16? That would be about 5 times. 5 times 2 is 10. Carry the 1. I'm going to use this one again. 5 times 3 is 15. Plus 1 is 16. 160. Subtract 160 is 0. So it terminates. And our new quotient is 6.5, or 6 5/10. All right, let's go to this problem. 3 1/100 divided by 43 hundredths. Go ahead and push pause and try it. All right, can't have a decimal in the divisor, so we have to make it a whole number. What you do to the outside, you do to the inside. So our decimal is going to go behind the 1. Now you divide normally. Can 43 go into 3? Nope. Can 43 go into 30? Nope. Can 43 go into 301? Yes. 4 goes into 30, we'll say about 7 times. 7 times 3 is 21. Carry the 2. 7 times 4 is 28. Plus 2 is 30. So we have 301, subtract 301, and it terminates. So our new answer is either just 7 or 7.0. Did you get that? Awesome job.
You look just like me, but a baby. You're like me, but old. You're like me, but fatter. You're like me, but with a hat.
All right, let's go to the third one. 6 551 hundredths divided by 6 2/10. Go ahead and push pause and try to solve it. You can't have a decimal in the divisor. There is, so we have to make it a whole number. What you do to the outside, you do to the inside. 62 cannot go into 6. The 62 can go into 65 one time. 1 times 62 is 62. 5 minus 2 is 3. Bring down the 1. Can 62 go into 31? No. So as soon as you say no, you got to put a 0 there. Now we got to add a decimal. As I always say, add 3 zeros. You may or may not need them. Bring down your first 0. How many times can 6 go into 31? Let's bring the decimal up. That would be 5 times. 5 times 2 is 10. Carry the 1. 5 times 6 is 30. Plus 1 is 31. 310 minus 310 is 0. So it terminates, and our new quotient is 10.5, or 10 5/10. Did you get that? Awesome job!
You look just like me, but a baby. You're like me, but old. You're like me, but fatter. You're like me, but with a hat.
All right, so now let's go down to 35 divided by 5/10. Go ahead and rewrite this to a long division. Solve it. Push pause. All right, so we have 35 divided by 5/10. Can't have a decimal in the divisor, so we have to make it a whole number. What you do to the outside, you do to the inside. But where's the decimal in 35? It's right here. So we have to make one butt cheek. Bring up the decimal. 5 can't go into 3. The 5 can go into 35 7 times. 7 times 5 is 35. 35 minus 35 is 0. Bring down this 0. Can 5 go into 0? Nope. So we put a 0 down. And there's our new quotient, 70. Did you get that? Great job!
You look just like me, but a baby. You're like me, but old. You're like me, but fatter. You're like me, but with a hat.
All right, so now let's go ahead and do the fifth problem. Let's go ahead and do 102 and 3/10 divided by 44. So we have 102 and 3/10 divided by 44. Go ahead and push pause and see if you can solve it. All right, so 44 can't go into 1. 44 can't go into 10. 44 can go into 102 2 times. Let's bring up the decimal so we don't forget about it. That's 88. Can't take 8 from there, so you have to take a set. That makes that 12. 12 minus 8 is 4. Still can't take 8 from 1, so you have to take a set there. That makes that a 9. Bring down the 1. Let's bring down the 3. 4 goes into 14 3 times. Let's try that. 3 times 4 is 12. Carry the 1. 3 times 4 is 12, plus 1 is 13. Three minus 2 is 1. 4 minus 3 is 1. Let's add a 0. Actually, you can add 2. Bring down that first 0. How many times can 4 go into 11? That would be 2 times. So that would be 8. 88. 10 minus 8 is 2. That would make that a 10. That makes that a 2. Bring down the second 0. How many times can 4 go into 22? 5 times. Five times 4 is 20. Carry the 2. 5 times 4 is 20, plus 2 is 22. And 220 minus 220 is 0. So our quotient is 2 325 thousandths. We didn't even have a decimal in the divisor. We only had it in the dividend, so all we had to do was bring it up. Did you get that answer? Awesome job!
You look just like me, but a baby. You're like me, but old. You're like me, but fatter. You're like me, but with a hat.
All right, go ahead and let's do this last problem. 9 3/10 divided by 31 hundredths. Rewrite it to long division. Push pause now and try to solve it. So we have 9 3/10 divided by 31 hundredths. Absolutely no decimal should be in your divisor. There is, so make it a whole number. 1, 2. What you do to the outside, you do to the inside. Got an empty butt cheek, so let's fill it in with a 0. Now, how many times can 3 go into 9? Or 31 go into 9? Can't. Can 31 go into 93? Yep. 3 goes into 9 3 times. Let's try that. 3 times 1 is 3. 3 times 3 is 9. 93 minus 93 is 0. Bring down this 0. Can 31 go into 0? Nope. So you have to have something in the ones place, which is a 0. And so our new quotient is 30. Did you get that? Awesome job. All right, so hopefully you can see that you can just add as many zeros you want, but this one was probably the harder one because it actually went to the thousands place, but it still terminated. So hopefully you did a good job, and I'll see you tomorrow.
You look just like me, but a baby. You're like me, but old. You're like me, but fatter. You're like me, but with a hat.